What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Pistons Media Day. Tomorrow, Monday, September 30th at 12:30 Eastern is when things will be kicking off for the Pistons official Media Day. We're going to talk about what exactly Media Day is, in case you guys were unfamiliar, a couple things that we expect to come out of Media Day, and then also go over where you can find content related to the Pistons Media Day tomorrow. So, first and foremost, if you guys are unfamiliar with what Media Day is, it's something that's been around forever, as long as I can remember anyways. Essentially, all that happens is all of the players, the coaching staff, etc., come together, start of the year, take a bunch of pictures, get their official headshots done, take pictures, a bunch of different pictures, lots of them, and then they all typically do interviews. So if you guys were curious, a couple people that we do know for sure will be there will be Pistons beat writer Amari Sankofa of the Detroit Free Press. If you guys were curious about him, you could definitely go onto his Twitter/X page and follow him and read some of his content regarding Media Day. And then also Matt Issa. He says, Detroit Pistons fans, I will be at Media Day on Monday. And then he asked if there's any questions that you'd like him to try and ask. So you can find him on Twitter as well. If you guys do have any questions that you would like to pass along to Matt that he could potentially relay on to any of the players or staff. So that's a couple places to kind of tap in with tomorrow and see things from. But if you just keep a general lookout, you'll definitely stumble across a lot of Pistons Media Day content, whether that be pictures or interviews. If you're just following the Detroit Pistons main social media pages on their YouTube channel, on their Facebook page, Instagram, X, everything in between, the Pistons will be uploading a lot of their own content. If you guys are interested in seeing the actual pictures, you could always go on Getty Images and look up Pistons Media Day on there. They'll upload hundreds of pictures tomorrow of all the players and all the different jerseys. But the most important, interesting part is gonna be the interviews. A lot of times it can be a little bit tricky to find them. Sometimes the Pistons actual official pages and stuff like that can be a little bit slow to get them up. Sometimes you have to dig kind of pretty far into the weeds of the internet to find them. But don't worry, I got you guys. Tomorrow I will upload a video once I get off of work, going over all of the interviews I found, talking about them, and showing you all where you can find them to listen to them as well. So you can always tap in with Pistons Jacob to stay up to date on everything Pistons Media Day as well. So anyways, to talk about a couple different things that we're going to expect to get questions about, answers about, things like that. So for myself personally, what I'm most looking forward to is hearing more from JB Bickerstaff. He has already done a couple different interviews over the summer at the Summer League. Him and Trajan both did some. He did an interview with Richard Jefferson at one point, but I do want to hear more from him just on kind of the high level stuff. A lot of it will probably be coach speak, just typical things you expect to hear from the coach. But I have noticed in the short amount of time that I've heard from JB Bickerstaff in interviews, he is very candid, he is down to earth, he seems to be quite honest and upfront with everything that he says. So I do expect for him to have pretty insightful interview answers to the questions he has asked that will be answered in an honest way. Of course, there will be some coach speak in there. He's not going to get up there and say we've got problems or anything like that before the season even starts. But I do expect him to answer a lot of things very, very honestly. A couple of the questions that I hope they ask him is what he plans to do with the backcourt. Does he plan on starting Cade and Ivy together, playing them together? What's Ivy's role looking like? Is that going to be more of a bench role? Hopefully he will have some type of answer to a question related to that. I do also hope that they ask what they plan to do with Isaiah Stewart. Of course, he was our starting 4 last year and can play the 5. Since we do have a lack of bigs on the team all summer, I've been expecting him to kind of move to that backup 5 role, so I do hope to hear some answers about that as well. So those are a couple things that I do hope to hear JB Bickerstaff touch on. As far as the individual players go, I really don't have any questions that I really feel super inclined to know from the players. All I'm really hoping for from that aspect is that they're happy and in good spirits. I want to see these guys come into camp with a fresh mindset, with the idea that the last season of 14 wins is behind them. This is a new team. They have more help with new veterans. They have a new coaching staff. They have a new president, and they have a fresh, clean slate with a 0-0 record. They're all a year older now. So all I want to see out of these young guys, I don't care what they answer the questions. I just want to see them having a good time. Media day for good teams in the NBA is typically a blast. You see guys like Jimmy Butler showing up with all sorts of weird haircuts. You see a lot of dudes, Russell Westbrook the other day, messing around with DeAndre Jordan, talking smack about his old college days. You normally see teams having a blast on media day because it should be fun. It's nothing that they should be worried about. It should be a day for them to all get together and be able to have a good time looking forward to the upcoming season. So the last thing that I want to see is them having to answer a bunch of hard-hitting questions about last year, about their development, all that type of stuff, and them having to really kind of dig to find a way to answer them. I just prefer to see the players happy. I truthfully think that there's something to be said in sports about a team that's able to come together and bond beyond the game itself, and that's what I want to see from the players. I want to see them having a good time. There's nothing to be worried or upset about at this point. We've got a while before the regular season starts. I want to see them relaxed and happy. So I guess that's really all I can think of because, like I said, the questions for the players I'm really not all that interested in, especially since the young guys seem to be very, very bought in and mature for their age anyways. People always talk about how mature Cade is in interviews. I expect to see that in his answers tomorrow. Same goes to be said with guys like Ivy Thompson and even Duran as well. So, don't expect them to say anything that you wouldn't expect or be weird about anything. They're all really solid, mature dudes for their age, so don't expect anything out of the ordinary in that department. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think that there should be a lot of interesting things that are said, maybe something that comes completely out of left field that I'm not expecting, but nevertheless, we will be making videos tomorrow on topics discussed at Media Day. Probably do like a Media Day recap tomorrow afternoon after I have time to sort through all of the interviews, listen to them, and then probably make a video summarizing the key takeaways, which I think will be the majority of questions that are asked to JB Bickerstaff, because as I mentioned, that's what I'm most excited and interested in hearing about. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are big Media Day fans. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely kind of always a big Media Day guy just because we've been deprived of Pistons basketball all summer. So it's almost like the first day back in school for the year type of feeling. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know if there's any questions that you guys are hoping to hear get answered, whether that be from anyone on the staff or anyone on the team. Looking forward to it. I'll catch up with y'all soon.